Good afternoon. Welcome in to the Bulldog Digital Network as we get set for our first Appalachian Athletic Conference doubleheader here from James L. Robb Gymnasium. Dwayne Farmer and Stan Harrison Court in Athens, Tennessee, the campus of Tennessee Wesleyan University. Jared Wright bringing you all the action right here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Appreciate you tuning in from wherever you are watching online, as it is Bryan and Tennessee Wesleyan. This could be dubbed the Highway 30 battle, the Washington Ferry Bridge battle, whatever you want to call it, as the two teams are separated by just about 30 miles, 20 to 30 miles in between the two campuses, and longtime AAC members, and no love lost between the schools, and the program's always the biggest crowd on hand when Bryan comes to James L. Robb. And the Lion faithful have started packing in their area of the stands, and Bulldog faithful coming in as well as we get set for this doubleheader action here, tipping off in just a couple of minutes. It'll be the women up first. Jason Smith in his second season at the helm of Tennessee Wesleyan. Of course, the longtime Bryan coach that had stout success there with the Lady Lions, making his way to Athens now. He has Lady Bulldogs at a 3-2 record. They're 2-1 inside the conference, currently sitting in the 6th place area, coming off of 2 wins in a row, including wins on the road at Spartanburg Methodist by a score of 83-75, and a win at Truett McConnell on Wednesday, 59-56. Bryan, on the other hand, coming in, Matt Ballant in his second season, Reagan Ballant, his assistant. They are 3-0 in the AAC and 5-2 overall. They have won their last 3 ball games and currently find themselves, after being ranked preseason 5th, they currently are tied for first in the conference standings. And they are near the top in a lot of team statistics on the AAC record and individual stats. So it will be a tough contest here for the Lady Bulldogs, trying to get game one under control. And they will be without one of their key players, Jalea Lindsay, number 23. She's a sophomore forward, injured right now, but she is 4th in the conference in points per game, averaging 15.8 for the Lady Bulldogs. 2nd in the conference in field goal percentage at 62.5% per game. And then she is the top 3-point shooter in the conference, 56.3% of the game so far on the season. On her average is 1st in the conference. On the other side, it's Ashlyn Plott, who is 4th in field goal percentage for the Lady Lions. So just kind of won. They've done this more as a team effort, it looks like, and not individual stats, as compared to Jalea Lindsay's notoriety in the AAC thus far. So we get set for the pregame activities. Tennessee Wesleyan has lost the last 15 in this series. Again, that even goes back to Coach Jason Smith's time at Bryan. And so trying to turn the tide here against his former team. They lost by 10-6 last year against the Lady Lions. So right now, we're actually going to pause for the national anthem. We're just talking about the last 15 wins have been all to Bryan in this ladies matchup. Lady Bulldogs have gotten it to 6 points last year on the road at Bryan, but lost by 10, 60-50 here on their home floor last year. So trying to turn the tide in that one. Let's meet your starting lineups. Coach Ballant first. They will start 0. Ashlyn Crittenden, a senior guard transferring from Carson Newman. Played down in Cleveland, Tennessee for her high school. 25, Ellie Graham, freshman forward from Lynchburg, Tennessee. Number 21, Kaylin Walls, freshman forward from Oliver Springs, Tennessee. 24, Molly Brown, a freshman point guard from Fayetteville, Tennessee. And then 32, senior forward Katie Farrell from Smithville, Tennessee. Brown averaging 10.7 to lead this starting lineup and all Lady Lions in scoring. On the other side for Jason Smith, assisted by Jaron Tall in his second, it will be number 1, Sloan Carpenter, the 5'6" sophomore guard. High school counterpart from Cleveland with Ashlyn Crittenden, so seeing them go against each other today will be fun to watch. Number 2, Tally Lawson, the 5'7" junior guard from Decatur, Tennessee, averages 11.2, so she will be the leading scorer in the lineup today. Number 3, Julia Howard, 5'10" sophomore forward from Decatur, Tennessee. And number 12, Cameron Brown, 5'5" freshman guard from Sevierville, Tennessee. And then 34, Leslie Hames, 5'11" freshman forward, averages 10.8 points per game, hailing from Decatur, Alabama. So 2 double figures in the starting lineup for the Lady Bulldogs in Hames and Lawson. So as we get set for this one, Lady Bulldogs, again, we mentioned coming off of a win at Truett McConnell, though it was their worst field goal and three-point shooting night, 33%, 34%, and 27% respectively. And the game before that at Spartanburg Methodist, they had their best game, shooting 49% as a team from the field and 56% from the three-point line, also collecting 45 rebounds in that matchup with the Pioneers of Spartanburg Methodist. Their biggest win here at home against Point, 75-56, the first home game of the regular season. Bryan coming off a hot three-point shooting night against Burnell on the road, shot 50%, 5 of 10. Collected 20 offensive rebounds, was a highlight for them as we get started here. And the tip will go to Bryan to start this ball game off. Brown will have it out front. Brown with it, trying to take it to the far corner. She does. Goes baseline, pass out there to Walls. Walls, top of the key, it goes to Crittenden. Crittenden drives, picks up the ball the whole way, missed it, and rebound comes off to Sloan Carpenter. She's going to push the pace. Gets it over to Lawson. Lawson controlling the point. Ball poked away, but Hames out there to pick it up. Trying to get it to Howard on the low block, and they'll say it's out of bounds off of the Lady Bulldogs. Full court press kind of being shown by Tennessee Wesleyan here, just token pressure. Brown with it from the Bulldog logo at midcourt. Now on the left wing, Walls, back to Brown it goes. Down low feed to Farrell. Farrell spins, gets bailed out on a foul call, and that one's going to be on Hames, her first. Team first. So Katie Farrell at the line. First free throw for the senior is good. She shoots 67% from the charity stripe. Both of them are good for Farrell. Full court press being shown by Bryan. Coach Ballant also been a former coach at Bryan before coming back last season. A lot of familiarity between these coaching staffs. Here's Lawson, gets to the rim. Layup no good. Collected here by Farrell, or by Walls for Bryan. And Bryan will push the pace. Three-pointer up, no good. Farrell gets an offensive board and a second chance opportunity coming for Bryan. Crittenden takes it to the far side, hands it off to Graham. Graham to Brown. Brown cut off by Carpenter. Lawson tried to take the charge, couldn't get it. Hames will get the rebound defensively and clear it out to the point guard Carpenter. Quickly up to Brown it comes. High bounce pass to Howard at the high post. Backdoor cut by Lawson. Little delayed give and go, knocks us up at 2 apiece. Still full court pressure. Bryan easily passed that. Kick out to Brown up top. Lob it down low to Farrell, guarded by Howard. Howard trying to cut her off. Lost it out of bounds. Good defense there by Julia Howard underneath. Wesleyan trying to get it in here. Comes into Lawson. Lawson coming off a 10-point night. Carpenter coming off an 11-point night. And it was Cameron Brown leading the team with 14 against Truett McConnell on that 3-point win. Just trying to keep it going. Hames for three, far wing, and it's good. Hames knocks it down, gives the Lady Bulldogs their first lead of the ball game. Brown playing pass and catch with Graham in the backcourt. Pass partially deflected. Wesleyan dropping back in the half-court defense here. 2-3 being shown. Momentarily, three-pointer off the mark. Howard clears out the rebound. Pushing it up to Lawson, and Lawson's going to get called for an offensive foul. If anything, it's a walk, not an offensive foul right there, but Lawson's going to take the first one. Could be jump ball, a walk, or a defensive foul. That one, didn't really see Lawson doing anything, but nonetheless, Lady Bulldogs drop back defensively. Bryan 0 for 4 from the floor. 0 for 3 from behind the arc. Again, tied for first place. They were preseason 6th or 5th, and the Lady Bulldogs preseason 6th. That's where they find themselves, but 2-1 in the conference early in the season in conference play, and travel call here on Graham, so Lady Bulldogs will get another opportunity. Howard, the safety net back here at midcourt for the Lady Bulldogs. Carpenter catches it middle of the floor. Looking inside, but now they will work it back around the top. Lawson, 15-footer is in there. Tally Lawson, she's got 4. Nice little piece of shooting from the 15-foot line. Carpenter and Brown, top of the press break. Farrell had it poked away by Lawson, out of bounds off of Lawson, they will say. Coach Smith having to tiptoe the sideline to get out of the way of that one as well. Somebody's got to inbound it for Bryan. 6:07 to play in the first quarter. Inbounds comes to Molly Brown. She'll get into the corner, flips it to her right to Farrell. Farrell right back to Brown. Out front. Now they get it left side, and Graham steps out of bounds after the pump fake. She got Lawson to jump at the three-pointer, but sideline defender helps out right there. Carpenter with it out front. Middle of the floor to Hames. Up to Howard. Howard lay-in on the right side. Lady Bulldogs push the lead to 7. Quick pass into the front court. Brown going to fire the triple off to the left side. Lawson collects the rebound, the 4th rebound for the Lady Bulldogs. Brown uses the jump stop, old-fashioned, and pushes it to a huge lead for the Lady Bulldogs of 9, 11-2, 5:25. Media timeout here on the court. We'll be right back in 60 seconds. Out of the timeout. It's turned into a media timeout. Bryan with the ball. Wesleyan in a 9-point lead, 11-2. First quarter of action. Got the scoreboard updated for you there. We had it in the fourth quarter from the previous games a couple weeks ago. Five minutes exactly, midway through this first quarter. Bryan jumped out to the 2-0 lead at the free throw line, with Farrell knocking down 2, but it's been Tennessee Wesleyan since then. And it comes to Crittenden. Aubrey Long, number 14, in for the Lady Bulldogs. She's a junior guard from Benton, Tennessee. Short jumper off the mark by Crittenden, gets her on board, put back no good, but she will draw the foul and go to the line. Howard's first. Lady Bulldogs will get Howard and Lawson out of the ball game. They will bring in number 10, Jordan White, freshman guard from Kodak, Tennessee, along with 35, Courtney Berry from Benton, Tennessee, the lone senior on this team. 4:48. Wesleyan leading this one now, 11-3. Crittenden makes both free throws. That'll make it a 7-point game. Lady Bulldogs turn it over in the backcourt. Crittenden, floater, no good. Farrell's offensive board, no good. Ball tipped around, Long coming away with it and gets fouled on the wrist. That one's going to be on Molly Brown, her first. So wholesale change here for Bryan. They will get number 1, Leah Stinnett, into the ball game from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, junior guard. They will also get number 33, Ashlyn Plott, the junior from Huntsville, Alabama. As Long gets across midcourt for the Lady Bulldogs, number 7, Ruby Cox. She's a freshman forward. Ball turned over by Berry, trying to get a pass to Long in the corner. Pushing the pace is Bryan. They get it down low to Cox. Out front, three-pointer on the way, and it is good for number 11, Olivia Hall, the sophomore from Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Makes it a 4-point game. Out front, White with it. Bounce pass is kicked. So under 4 minutes. Looks like they also have number 10, Kelsey Johnson, out there for Bryan. Or correction, number 13, Brooklyn Stinnett, from right here in McMinn County, Athens, Tennessee. Called some of her games at McMinn County High School. Just was looking at the jersey number and not the face. So Bryan in the half-court defense. Wesleyan gets it high post. Berry with it. And then Berry's going to throw it away. So back-to-back turnovers for the Lady Bulldogs. They've got to get it going here. It gives them 4. Bryan's got 3. Wesleyan is one of the top 5 teams in terms of turnovers in the conference, only having 16 a game. Bryan has 8, almost 19 a game. Here's Stinnett for 3, left wing, missed this one. And charge coming here against Olivia Hall, as Hall will pick up the foul, and Coach Ballant not happy about that one. Wesleyan had it set up pretty good. Long over to Brown, or to White, now Berry to Brown. Good press break on this attempt. 4-point lead by the Lady Bulldogs. Here's Long, drives. Cross court pass, Carpenter on the outlet from inside, missing the 3, and it's off to the left. Again, Wesleyan, number 2 in the conference in three-point shooting, just only knocking down 1 so far. 37% is their average. 3 seconds on Bryan. And Hames is going to come back in. Along with Lawson, they will replace Berry. Nope, it'll be Brown and Carpenter. Bryan Number 2 in the conference, 79 points per game compared to Wesleyan 70, which is tied for 6th. Here's Long, back to White. White drops it to Berry. She fakes the 3, gives it over to Hames. She's going to try to knock down another one and misses it. Chasing it down on the hustle play, but out of bounds to Bryan it goes. So Bryan is top 5 in every shooting category, or top 6. Free throw shooting, they're at 66% of 6. 4th in three-point shooting, 3rd in field goal at 43, and they're currently at 10% as a team. Long blocked the shot inside, but Bryan gets the rebound, kicks it out for a 3. Missed it. Their only field goal is the 3-pointer by Olivia Hall earlier. Wesleyan has to roll the ball to the outside. Long with it, now to Lawson. Lawson, head fake, goes left of the screen by Berry. A hand check foul called on Olivia Hall, her 2nd, team 3rd. And Bryan's going with the wholesale change again, and the starters are back in. White set to inbound it. Long lob into Lawson. 2:08 to go in the first quarter. Lawson calling for a screen. Nobody saw it. She's going to try to take Brown off the dribble. Hard skip pass to White. White into the paint. Running floater. Touch off the glass, and it's good for Jordan White, the freshman out of Kodak. 6-point advantage. Bryan with it on the far side. Graham drops it. Now Brown, she traveled with it. And it's a couple of times Lady Lions have taken off with it a little too quickly before putting the ball on the floor. Wesleyan, let's see if they can capitalize. They've got 7 points off of 5 turnovers thus far by Bryan. White edging her way through. No look pass out to Lawson for 3. Just off the mark, ball tipped out. White ends up with it again. Here goes White on the baseline, trying to get a pass past 2 defenders and couldn't do it. Not a bad offensive look, just couldn't get a shot to fall. And another travel. Official telling Coach Blunt that she drugged the pivot foot, and there wasn't much of an argument from Graham on that one. Middle of the floor, Berry to Long, up to Lawson. Press break works, but the shot falls too strong over the back. Minute to go here in the first quarter. Crittenden driving, drops it to Graham. Graham gets the lay-in, only their 2nd field goal of the ball game. 4-point game once again. Lawson had Long open, but bounce pass to Berry. Berry trying to bounce it over to White, missed it. Layup this time by Graham is good, and we got a 2-point game. Wesleyan turning it over too many times. Led to some points for Bryan. Lawson fights off of the defender and gets the score. Good find inside by Long. Crittenden catches it at midcourt, spins, finds an open Walls in the corner for 3, missed it, overplayed on the rebound. Brown cleans it up though for Bryan. And Wesleyan's just going to let the clock run out, but the Lady Bulldogs still lead them right now, 15-13 at the end of the first quarter. We'll be right back on the Bulldog Digital Network. Second quarter of action coming up here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Wesleyan will start with the ball. White, Carpenter, Hames, Howard, and Brown. Howard has it on the baseline. Pass deflected, another turnover. 7 on the game for the Lady Bulldogs. Ball tipped around, coming away with it is Walls. Now Howard comes down with it and jump ball possession arrow. We'll keep it with Bryan on this end of the floor. Moving from our right to our left. Lob comes into Graham, top of the key. 3-2 zone almost being shown by the Lady Bulldogs. Farrell inside has knotted us up for the second time tonight. 15 apiece. This foul. Actually, they're going to reset to so they'll reset the shot clock. It didn't start on time, so 4 seconds come off. So Wesleyan's got to get it up the floor quicker now. Shot clock, backcourt violation. Coach Ballant trying to get that one. A little confusion for everybody. A couple of games into the season now, and timing working out. Of course, the gym getting packed as more fans showing up here for both teams. James L. Robb, always the biggest attendance for the Bryan and Wesleyan games. Drive by Brown, she gets up, and Bryan has their second lead of the ball game now, 17-15. Wesleyan seeing if they can tie it right back up or take the lead. Carpenter out to Hames. Hames misses the three. Bryan a chance to extend to their largest lead. Timeout called by Tennessee Wesleyan. It's a media timeout. We'll be right back on the Bulldog Digital Network. So Tennessee Wesleyan ball now, 8:29 to go here in the second quarter. Lawson with it. White now gets it to Carpenter. Carpenter over to Howard. Howard had a backdoor cut by Hames and missed it. Bounce pass. Carpenter trying to look for help. Skip past to Lawson. Extra pass. Hames for three in the corner, and it rattles out. Went all the way in and rattled out, and Julia Howard trying to tip back the rebound is going to get called for her second foul, team first of the quarter. The Lady Bulldogs are going to show this 2-2-1 press. Berry coming back in for Howard with 2 fouls. Wesleyan trying to defend Bryan. Bryan's been on a roll of late. They've scored 6 straight going back to the first quarter. Three-pointer by Graham, misses. Ames battling for the rebound, but Brown comes away with it for the Lions. Baseline feed. Bounces off of Barry's foot, so. Brown gonna key it in underneath, 16 to shoot. Lob comes in to Crittenden. Now they work it over to Graham. Crittenden has it. Comes to the left side, now back Crittenden, high post to Graham. Bryan quickly working on some passing. Drop pass, and the lay-in is good on the right side. 4-point lead for the Lady Lions. Their largest of the game, Wesleyan. Having some trouble with this press now. Ames with it, gets it to White, middle of the floor, goes middle of the lane. Tries to get the layup and blocked out of bounds. Second 5 coming in for Bryan. Stinnett, Cox, Hall. Along with Plott. Lob comes into Berry, fakes the 3, she'll drive middle of the paint. Pulls up, 6-footer, no good. Ball tipped out, Carpenter comes away with it. Ames for 3, this one off the back iron, no good. Ball tipped around, Cox comes away with it for Bryan. Leah Stinnett with it, sends it over right side, 3-pointer no good. There from Plott, here comes White up the floor quickly. Carpenter, top of the key, now to Berry. Berry puts it on the floor, had it poked away. Trying to get it to her point guard. Gets it to White. White going baseline against Brooklyn Stinnett. Top of the key, Lawson. Lawson drives, scoop, and the score. Finally, the Lady Bulldogs on the board here in the second quarter. They've been held scoreless for the first 3.5 minutes, and then answering right back is Plott with a 3-pointer of her own. 5-point lead, their largest of the game. They're now 2 of 11 from behind the arc. Wesleyan 1 of 7. Berry looking. Carpenter. Bounce pass to Lawson. Lawson quick to Hames. Passed up the shot, and she traveled with it. Bryan fans applauding that one as they think it's been called too much on their players, but it's been pretty evident right in front of the officials every time. Long coming to the scorer's table. She'll come in for Hames. 5:52 remaining here in the first half. Got the guys game coming up next. First time we'll be able to see the Wesleyan men this year on the Bulldog Digital Network. They've been road warriors. Hand check foul on Jordan White, her first. Team's second of the quarter. Stinnett inbounds it to Hall. Hall working against Carpenter. Carpenter shades her to the left. Back to Hall it goes for 3. Had a screen set for her. Out of bounds it goes off as Cox was trying to chase it down over there. Right side, Lawson with it. Bounce pass down to Long, quick touch pass to Berry. Wesleyan extra passing out here. They are the top team in the conference in assists. Another big play there for Tennessee Wesleyan. But Bryan answers right back. So quick timeout on the court. 30-second timeout for Bryan. We'll be right back here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Out of the timeout, Bryan with the 6-point lead, 25-19. After they answered the quick 2 by Wesleyan with the 3 of their own by Plott. Lawson had a handle on it, lost the dribble as Brown rips her pocket. Brown working against Carpenter, trying to feed it into Farrell. Now they get it in. Had a mismatch, kicks it out. Graham with it, and 3 seconds called on Farrell. Katie Farrell, one of only 2 seniors on this ball club, or 3 seniors, sorry. Lob pass to Carpenter. Skip pass up to Lawson across the time stripe. Wesleyan trying to get some offense going. They had a good start to the first quarter. Scored 11 straight points after Bryan took a lead of 2-0. Then Bryan came back and scored 5 straight of their own. And each team kind of trading buckets. .412 on the game clock, 11 on the shot clock. Or 13 on the shot clock. Wesleyan will have it side out of bounds, trailing 25-19. Barry gets it at the high post, had to chase it down. Carpenter, 3-pointer in the corner, short. Glances off the bottom front of the rim. Wesleyan will drop back defensively as Graham brings it up, working against Lawson. Gets it to Walls. Down low to Farrell. Bryan the extra pass, working it around the perimeter, being patient. Now Brown with it. High post feed, wide open Graham in the corner for 3, and it's rattled on. 9-point lead. Bryan's largest of the game. Up to Lawson it goes. Bounce pass over to Long. Down on the baseline to Carpenter. She's fouled hard underneath by Walls. Walls first, Bryan's first of the quarter. Cameron Brown back into the ball game here for Tennessee Wesleyan. She'll replace Long. Hames back in for White. 2 shots coming for the Lady Bulldogs here. First one is good for Carpenter. That's it to an 8-point game. Wesleyan women in soccer down playing at Life in the NAIA tournament, trailing 2-0 in the second half of that game. So Lady Bulldogs in soccer going to need a big one to keep their postseason run alive. Carpenter had missed the second free throw. Brown steals it in the backcourt against Lawson. Lawson still guarding her on the perimeter, now switching off. She'll guard Walls. Down low to Farrell. Barry with her, and then a push here on Barry. That's going to be Courtney's first. Walls will exit, and number 6, Alyssa Petty will check in, freshman from Fayetteville, Tennessee. And she'll make quick work. She scoops and scores off the inbound play. 10-point lead, largest for either team here tonight. This press of Bryan giving Wesleyan some fits, now up to double-digit turnovers at 10. And another backcourt violation, make that 11 turnovers. Bryan's gotten 11 off of the turnovers thus far in the scoring. Wesleyan 7 points off of 8 turnovers by Bryan. Lady Bulldogs shooting 45%, 9 of 20. 1 of 8 from behind the arc. Bryan roughly 38%, 11 of 29 from the field. 4 of 15, 26% from behind the arc. They're perfect 4 of 4 on the free throws. Wesleyan 1 of 2. Farrell looking for help. Spins into the low block. Draws the foul here. Second on Barry. So Howard and Barry with 2 fouls apiece as the post players for Wesleyan. And 2:10. Coach Jason Smith looks to the bench. He'll let the first free throw go from Farrell before he makes the decision. Missed free throw, but another offensive rebound for Bryan. Three-pointer no good. Hames collects it. Out of bounds off of Bryan here. 2:03 to play. Long back in. Sure replace Barry. Long in the backcourt with Carpenter. Trying to get through the double team, and Wesleyan's going to, well, it's going to be bailed out a little bit there. Thankfully, as Petty came flying in to try to save it, and she'll be the one to knock it out of bounds. Wesleyan gets it in to Brown. And the 10-second call, back-to-back possessions for the Lady Bulldogs and 10-second violations. So Petty will inbound it for Bryan. Near corner. Three-pointer for Plott, no good. Long collects the rebound, got to push it. Avoid the third in a row if they can. Here's Carpenter, takes it to the left side. Hames gets it over to Long. Long trying to get the pass out, and that's a good call right there. Her arm was being held. No hand on the ball compared to what the Bryan fans over here think, but Graham's going to pick up her first, team second. The ball came out of Long's arms, but her arm was being held. Inbounds coming from Carpenter, gets it into Lawson. Lawson spins, has a ball poked away. Out of bounds off of Lawson here with 1:26 to go. Wesleyan just looks discombobulated at the moment. Gonna need a big second half to cut this lead down from 11, if not more. Then Bryan closes out. Way up from Brown, skying in, made it. She wanted the foul call. 13-point lead. Brown throws it away for Wesleyan, right to Graham. Back to Brown. Layup is good. Brown with back-to-back buckets for Bryan. Under 50 seconds we go in the first half. Lawson gets it to Brown. Hames for three, short. Rebound tipped out, Carpenter gets it. Little floater in the middle of the lane is good. Wesleyan finally gets another bucket. 30 seconds to go, trailing by 13, 35-22. Bryan with the ball. They're going to hold. There's about maybe a .4 differential in game and shot clock. Bryan going to take it now. Lawson looked like she was straight up and had a hand on the ball, but they're going to get her for a second foul. Lawson had a good look at the block. They've given Coach Smith a technical. Official apparently didn't. Coach Smith was just trying to talk to him. I didn't see anything egregious right there. Brown's going to go to the line, 9.7 remaining. Makes the first one of the technical fouls. And Brown makes both of them. Back to a 15-point lead. Now Coach Smith still trying to get an explanation. Brown's getting the foul shots as well from the foul call. And Bryan will get the ball. So that's why nobody is on the line for those watching at home. 4 straight points at the free throw line for Brown. .7 remaining. Inbounds comes to Brown, guarded by Carpenter. Reverse layup, missed it. Long gets the rebound to Brown. 2 seconds. Brown fires a 3 and banks off the glass and just no good. So it's been the tale of 2 quarters. Wesleyan had it in the first, but it has been all Bryan here in the second as they outscore Tennessee Wesleyan 26-7 in the second frame here on the Bulldog Digital Network. So we're going to take a break here and then bring some first half stats closer to the start of the second half in the third quarter here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Welcome back here to the Bulldog Digital Network as we're still at halftime. Lady Bulldogs trailing this one 39-22 against Bryan here on their home floor. Lady Bulldogs shooting better than Bryan from the field, just not getting a lot of shots as they've had 14 turnovers. And Bryan has scored 16 points off of those turnovers. Wesleyan only getting 7 points off of the 8 turnovers by Bryan. Wesleyan 10 of 22, 45.5% from the field, 1 of 9 behind the arc, 11.1. Only 2 shots from the foul line, and it was Carpenter going 1 of 2 there for 50%. Bryan, on the other hand, they were 13 of 34, 38.2% from the field, 4 of 17, 23.5% from behind the arc, and then 9 of 10 from the charity stripe. Rebound advantage goes to Bryan by 4, 16-12. 9 offensive, 7 defensive. Wesleyan 3 offensive, 9 defensive. Each team is Bryan with 8 assists, Wesleyan with 7, so right there in the mix of that. Wesleyan only has 1 steal compared to the 7 credited to Bryan so far. Bench points, Bryan outscoring Wesleyan 11-4 in that category. And second chance points outscoring the Lady Bulldogs 6-2 as well. Points in the paint a little bit closer, 16-14, still in favor of Bryan though. Individual scorers, it's Molly Brown pacing all scores with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. On the other side for Lady Bulldogs, it's Tally Lawson, 8 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. 4 points for Jordan White, Sloan Carpenter, Leslie Hames with 3 points apiece. 2 points by Julia Howard, along with Cameron Brown. And then 9 points by Ellie Graham as the second leading scorer for Bryan on the other side. Wesleyan will start with the ball. Working on their home end of the floor. Hames starts the second quarter like she did. Her first points, knocking down the 3 for the Lady Bulldogs. It gave them their first lead of the game. 14-point lead. Wesleyan gets the turnover here. Carpenter gets it out. Carpenter over to Lawson. Lawson, layup, no good. Wesleyan gets fouled as Farrell sends Howard to the floor. And so Wesleyan, see what Coach Smith has instilled in them in the locker room. Carpenter, long lob out front to Brown. Brown for 3, and it's in there. Nothing but nylon there. 11-point game. Wesleyan coming out clicking here. 39-28. Down low feed to Farrell. Wesleyan helping out. Howard blocks her shot out of bounds. Just over a minute gone here in the third quarter. Slap of the ball by Brown. Out to Crittenden. Down low on the cut. Looked like Walls got away with the body there. Out of bounds off of Bryan as Graham came flying in. Walls kind of went straight in there with the elbow. Here's Lawson. That press gave Wesleyan fits in the first half. See if they can get away from it. Farrell tips the long pass away, and another turnover by Tennessee Wesleyan, their 15th of the game. Again, they averaged 16.6 in the top 5 in the conference. As far as not turning the ball over, Farrell scores right here. Pushes the lead back to 13, 8:25 to go. Here's Hames. Long lob, turns it over once again. 16 turnovers by the Lady Bulldogs. 16 and counting. Pass out, Brown for 3. Molly Brown knocks down the deep shot. 16-point lead. Brown 10.7 from Lincoln County High School. Carpenter lobbed to the baseline to Brown. Brown back to Lawson. Passes up on the 3. Extra pass over to Brown. Cameron Brown finds Hames right wing with it. Hames brings it near side, 5 to shoot. Lost the ball and out of bounds she goes with it. Shot clock had got down to 2. And a foul called on Wesleyan here on the other end. This one's going to be on Hames. It's her second. Team first of the quarter. Kaylin Walls at the strike. 55% shooter on the season. Makes the first one. 7:31 to go here in the third quarter. Short on this one. Lawson comes flying in to get the rebound here. And then gets fouled in the backcourt here by Molly Brown. She's got 2. Lawson going to key it in underneath. Lawson and Carpenter in the backcourt. Looking to get it to the middle of the floor. Kick ball by Graham. Got 3 seconds to get it across. Got to get it across quickly. They do. Hames drops it to Howard and blocked out of bounds by Farrell. So Wesleyan will have it 17 seconds to shoot. Lawson lost handle momentarily, but knocked out of bounds by Bryan. So Carpenter set to key it in underneath again. Barely had to move. There's Lawson. Sweeps to the right, gets to the lane, and scores. Second five for Bryan coming back in. Missed shot off the mark by Brown. Quick outlet up to Brown for Wesleyan and blocked out of bounds by Crittenden. Crittenden winning a state championship at Bradley Central. Carpenter did as well, former Bearettes. Carpenter going to key it in, gets it to Lawson. Sweeps to the right, trying to pull the same move. Down to Howard, up top to Brown. Drive and dish here to Hames. Out to Brown it goes, 16 on the shot clock. Out left side, it's Carpenter. Takes her defender off the dribble. Pops it back to Hames for 3, and that bounces up and over. 6:33 to go here in the third quarter. 15-point game, 45-30. Wesleyan trying to claw back into this one. Cox sends it out to Plott. Plott drills the 3. 48-30. 18-point lead. Lawson, middle of the floor. Drops it over to Brown. Brown swings it far side to Carpenter. They feed it baseline to Hames. Howard wide open. Howard hook shot in the lane. Does get the roll. Nice little post move by Julia Howard, the sophomore out of Meigs County. Hall drops it over to Brooklyn Stennett. Stennett feeds it back door to Lawson. Lawson intercepts the pass. Trying to take it all the way coast to coast. Carpenter had it, lost it, regains it, and scores on the left side. 14-point deficit now. Cox gets it down low, working against Howard. Spins in, and Howard leaned forward enough to get the foul call, her 3rd of the ball game. Stops the momentum of Wesleyan for a minute. Barry, White, and Long return, replacing Howard, Hames, and Carpenter. Lady Bulldogs 1-1 here at James L. Robb this year. Bryan 2-1 on the road. Coming off of road victories at Bernal and Union. First free throw is good here. Lost on the road at Freed Harmon. Cox makes both of them. Middle of the floor, Lawson quick pass over to Barry. Back to Lawson it comes. Finally, Wesleyan struggling several times. Barry gets it in the lane, kick out, Lawson. Up and under, layup no good, or jumper no good. Rebound pulled in by Cox. 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Baseline drive, missed off the mark. Barry plus the defensive board, clears it out the long. Wesleyan a 2-on-2 break. Brown with it, over to Lawson. Lawson calling out the signal. Long, high post. White dribbled it right to the high post. Cameron Brown, baseline feed to Aubrey Long. Here's White, catches at the elbow extended. Well, ball fake up off the glass and good for Jordan White. 36 points for the Lady Bulldogs. Three-pointer off the mark here by Plott. Out front, Lawson calling for it, left open for three. Just off the back iron and backboard. Wesleyan watches Bryan turn it over. And we've got our first media timeout here in the third quarter. Wesleyan trailing 50-36. We'll be back in just a moment. Out of the media timeout, Wesleyan trailing by 14 with the ball. 3:55 to go here in the third quarter. Left side long, high post feed to Carpenter. Kicks it out, Brown for three in the far wing, and it's good. Cameron Brown with another one. 11-point game. See if Wesleyan can buckle down defensively. Get some big plays with the second five for Bryan out here. Wesleyan trying to save it. Carpenter. Gonna get called for stepping out of bounds. We'll pause with you. The video stream is on off. We're trying to correct that. Here's Carpenter with it. Jump ball, the call. Horn blew, but they will keep it going. Now we got the video feedback. Apologies for that. And then a travel called on Bryan here. 3:15 to play. 50-39. Starting five coming back in for Bryan. Carpenter set the kid in on the far side. Long cross-court pass to Brown from White. Back to White it goes. White, 15-foot line. Now hesitates, drives in, gets it to cutting Carpenter, and Carpenter's going to throw it away. They say it was deflected. Bryan fans upset, 6 seconds to shoot. White lost the handle and then gets fouled underneath. This foul, Crittenden, her first, team third. So White will step to the line. 66.7% shooter. Makes the first one. Chance to trim it to single digits right here, 50 to 40. And she does just that. Wesleyan still applying full court pressure, at least just token pressure. It's going to be White picking up Brown. Under 2:40 to go in the third quarter. This one getting a little bit chippy. Here's Brown, top of the key, gets it to Farrell. Farrell, ball above her head, now starts her dribble. Spins left side. Berry right there with her the whole time, missed it. And White getting held by Crittenden. That was an easy call right there. Nobody else is moving towards the ball. White was trying to go, and Crittenden just kind of locked her up. That'll be the easiest one they've made all night. White to Long, middle of the floor. Here goes White down the right side of the lane. Shovel pass over to Berry. Got hit on the way, no call. Here's White, comes flying out with it to Brown for three. Cameron Brown knocks down another one. 2-possession game with under 2 to go in the third. White, good hustle in there to pick up the loose ball on the rebound. And then find Brown wide open on the outside. Blocked, Carpenter gets her former high school teammate with a block. Here's White calling for it. Out to Long, lob into Berry. Berry, top of the key to Brown. Could it be? No. Missed it. But the offensive rebound will give him another shot. Here's White, gets it to Brown. Left side, it comes to Carpenter. 10 to shoot. 1:14 to play in the third. Brown thought about the three again. Now the pass deflected by Crittenden and then out of bounds off of Long. 1:05 to go here in the third. It's going to be Brown walking it up the floor. Goes left side over to Graham. Graham back to Brown. Brown takes a three. Misses it completely, and then a foul on the rebound by Graham. Her second, team fifth, and there'll be 2 shots coming for Jordan White. Or no, Cameron Brown, correction.
That was on number 25, Haley Graham, her second, team fifth. Now at the line, number 12, Cameron Brown.
So Brown will step to the stripe, leading this team with 11 points right now, 3 of 4 from behind the arc. Tally Lawson with 10. She's currently sitting on a breather. Brown misses the first one. Still 50 to 44, 51 seconds to go in the third quarter. In and out it goes, so both free throws missed. Wesleyan, one of the best free throw, or the best free throw shooting team in the conference, missing 3 so far tonight. We got a foul inside. It's going to be on Cameron Brown, her first. Third on the Lady Bulldogs. Again, remind you, we got the fourth quarter coming up here, but the men will be in action for Tennessee Wesleyan. First time they have taken Dwayne Farmer and Stan Harrison court in the regular season this year. So get a chance to see them. They're one of the best teams in the conference right now at the top of the standings and a hot playing team. Farrell commits the travel on the spin move. Lady Bulldogs will have 94 feet to go, 32 seconds. Yep, Coach Smith doing exactly what thought he would do, saying we're going to take the last shot. White keeping her dribble through two defenders, bounces it over to Carpenter. 20 seconds to go to shoot. White, going to take it all the way in. Now Wesleyan can get the last shot of the quarter, trailing by 6. 50-44. Near corner, White with it, 7 to shoot. Kick ball violation. So this one, Brown will take her time, 5.5 remaining. Hames coming in for Long. They'll be inbounded underneath by White. Bounces it off the defender, goes up for the shot, missed it. Smart heads up play by Jordan White down low. Farrell had her back to her, throws it off the backside. Gets a shot up, but draws the foul. Long going to come back right back in for Hames. And so Jordan White to the stripe. First one bounces in and out. Free throw woes continue right now for the Lady Bulldogs. I know they've only taken 7, but still a team that shoots 81% from the stripe. She does make the second one, so a 5-point game. Official stops it real quick. Trying to reset some time, so 3.6 on the game clock. Bryan trying to get it quickly to the middle of the floor. And the clock's going to end. So Lady Bulldogs trailed by as many as 18, almost midway through the third, but now only down 5 as we head to the final fourth quarter. We'll be right back on the Bulldog Digital Network. Fourth and final quarter here on the Bulldog Digital Network. Lady Bulldogs have battled back to within 5, outscoring the Lady Lions 23-11 in the third period. Carpenter, Long, Howard, Brown, and White out there for the Lady Bulldogs. Lady Lions have a combination of Hall, Walls, Graham, Brown, and Farrell. Here's White taking it off the dribble, trying to go all the way in against Brown. Double pump the layup. Jumper couldn't get it. Here comes Graham pushing the pace up. 30 seconds gone already. Brown going to get it. Brown with 15 points leading Bryan in scoring. Carpenter comes away with it. Quick pass up to Howard in transition. Howard, easy lay-in on the right side. Lady Bulldogs to within 3. 50-47. Now Graham gets wide open for an easy lay-in. 5-point game once again. Quick pass Brown had the three if she wanted it. That's the way she's been shooting it. She should have taken it. She's 3 for 4 from behind the arc. Carpenter, top of the key. High post feed to Howard and a push in the back there on Walls. That's going to be the second on Walls, first on Bryan in the quarter. Long checks in, Lawson back in. Long inbounds to Lawson, drives right side of the lane, kicks it. Carpenter for three. Bounces up and hits the support over the top. .8:34 to go. Brown bringing it up the court. Brown sends it left side to Farrell. Farrell driving in, kicks out front to Walls. Walls left side, spins out of it, gives it to Farrell. Howard jumped at it. Graham lay in on the right side is good. Pushes the lead to 7. Wesleyan nearly turns it over in the backcourt. Brown having to kind of tiptoe the sideline trying to save it, but she goes out. Hames comes in. She'll replace Cameron Brown. So the officials they appear to be talking about the clock and whether any time should have run off the shot clock or anything, with Brown trying to grab it and tiptoe the line. So maybe a second, but if Brown had possession and stepped out of bounds, you got to think that it resets to 30 for Wesleyan anyway. They're going to say 28 seconds. I don't. Middle of the floor, Carpenter with it. Carpenter across the time strike. Here's White down the lane, gets it out to Lawson, pops the triple. Karam's off the rim, or side of the backboard pretty hard. Carpenter, though, saves the long rebound. Down low to Howard, and it rolls too low out of bounds, and so the Bulldogs turn it over. 19 turnovers now, trailing 54-47. Again, the guys game coming up next. Wesleyan men 4 and 2. Bryan Lions 2 and 5. Three-pointer on the way for Bryan, missed it. Hames chasing the long rebound down. Up to Howard. Howard layup. Does get the bounce. It hung on the side of the rim for a while. And Howard, good athletic play to even get that one up as she was flying down the court. Able to get it to fall for her. White guarding Brown out front. Bounce pass into Graham. Graham triple team. Carpenter's got the tie up. Possession arrow will keep it with Bryan, though. Walls will check out. In comes Plott for Bryan. Brown and Graham, the high scores for Bryan, 15 and 13 respectively, still out there. Brown and Lawson for Wesleyan, 11 and 10 respectively. Lawson, the only one of those out there. Lady Bulldogs get the turnover. Carpenter coming away with it, gets it over to White. Extra pass to Hames, down low to Howard. Quick out to White for three. Karam's too strong. Good look. No sense in not taking that look. Trailing 54-49. Brown out front. Sends it right side to Hall. Carpenter cuts her off on the baseline. Hall skip pass. Comes to the top of the key. Now a drive by Graham and shovels it off to Farrell. And timeout called by Bryan. And it'll turn into the media timeout here in the fourth and final quarter. It's 56-49. Bryan in front of Tennessee Wesleyan. We'll be right back. 6:33 to play in this AAC matchup. Longtime rivals, although rivalry in this matchup on the women's side has been all Bryan of late. 15 straight wins against the Lady Bulldogs. Tennessee Wesleyan trying to come back and claw their way in. Lawson misses it. Couple of rebounds and offensive foul called on Farrell. Started swinging elbows, and Wesleyan, good job to crowd in there and try to get the rebound and get this crowd into it a little bit. Emotions running high here as of late. Wesleyan, again, was down 18 with 6:13 to play in the third and cut it down to a 5-point gain at the end of the quarter. Farrell comes out. Inbounds coming from White. Far corner, it goes to Brown. Guarded by Brown. Here's Carpenter, left side. Top of the key to Brown. Brown calling for a screen, goes opposite side of it. Out to Carpenter, 9 to shoot. White with it. Howard, little hook shot, gets fouled on the shot. Graham's going to pick up her third. So Howard steps to the line. 83% on the season. Makes the first one. And Howard converts both of them. 5-point game once again. 6:04 to play. Brown walking it up the floor. Guarded there by White. Blocking foul called on Jordan White here. Her second. Team first of the quarter. That's going to send Molly Brown to the stripe. Brown, a 94% shooter, only missing one. 16 of 17 on the season. She stays with a high percentage there after the first make. 5:52 to play. And both of them. Wesleyan will have to remember that. That's not the lady line you want to foul. Lawson gets into Carpenter, middle of the floor. Carpenter, bounce pass over to White. White past the double team. Goes flying in. Layup on the right side is good for Jordan White. 5.5 to go. 5-point game. Wesleyan needs to get the crowd into this one. Brown out front, guarded by White. Comes near side to Hall, guarded by Carpenter. Carpenter sliding her feet with her the whole way. Lawson swats at it and fouls the three-point shooter. Lawson, I think, thought she was going to get the block and hit all ball. So that's going to send Plott to the stripe. She's a 60% shooter on the season. And she makes the first one. So back and forth between 5, 6, and 7 points we go. This one could get up to 8. She makes all 3 of them. 60 to 53. And she does just that. 8-point game. Here's Lawson. Over to White. White guarded by Brown. Lawson, high post feed. Ball swiped away. And Lawson's going to pick it up in a frustration foul, trying to stop Brown real quick. It's going to be the third on Tennessee Wesleyan. It's 4 on Lawson. Brown bringing it up, 5 minutes to go. 61-53, Bryan in front. Wesleyan led in the first quarter. But after that, it has been all Lady Lions. Currently outscoring Wesleyan 11-8 in the fourth. Missed defensive board, make that 13-8 here in the fourth quarter. Back to a 10-point game. Near pass. Comes to Carpenter. Now to Brown. Back through White. White driving all the way in, looking for help. Lawson, top of the key for three. In and out. That one looked good the whole way. And White trying to tie up Brown underneath. 4:15 to go. Possession is with Tennessee Wesleyan, so heads up play by the freshman. Feed down low to Graham. Shovel pass on the baseline. Three-pointers up and good for Plott. .13 advantage, 66-53. Under 4 we go. Carpenter lob into Howard. Quick pass out to White. Gets free, layup, no good, but the foul is. Good heads-up play by Jordan White to attack. So long returns and media timeout coming here on the Bulldog Digital Network. We'll be right back. .347 to go. Wesleyan trailing 66-53 on the Bulldog Digital Network here. Jared Wright bringing this Appalachian Athletic Conference doubleheader. Tennessee Wesleyan, of course, mentioned it in the pregame, but you have to talk about it again. But without Jalea Lindsay, their leading scorer, and so they've been having to find some different offense through different players tonight. But one of those being Jordan White, who's at the line, makes the first one. Stops the scoring run by Bryan and made 8 straight points. White converts both of them. 11-point game. Backcourt, Brown with it, gets across the time stripe, working against White. Finds an open Olivia Hall for three, misses it. White gets the long rebound, fought through the defender. Now it's poked away by Brown from behind. Brown, the freshman guard from Fayetteville, Tennessee, has been impressive thus far here this afternoon. 17 points for the freshman, averages 10.7. White getting the inbound. She leads the team with 13 points for Wesleyan. Howard, 15-footer, bounces in and out. Looked good the whole way, and then Long's going to commit the foul here. At some point, you do have to send them to the line, so fourth team foul. Hall gets the inbounds, gets it right back to Graham. Graham working her way up the floor, guarded by Brown for Wesleyan. Hands it off to Hall. Hall, top of the key to Walls. Walls running, jumper no good. Bryan saves it on the baseline. Plott gets it out to Graham. Skip pass over to Brown, and she travels with it. Hames going to set the check back in for Wesleyan. Long going to exit. 2:56 to play, 66-55. White's going to bring it up the floor, shadowed by Carpenter to her right, gets it to her. White with it, double team, bounces it out to Carpenter. Bryan trying to trap at the top of the key. White with it, lost the handle. Stolen away there by Bryan. Now up to Graham quickly in transition. The foul on the floor, but it'll be a two-shot foul anyway. As Cameron Brown's going to pick up her second. That's going to send Graham to the line, 75% shooter on the season. 2:35 to play. For Bryan, their next matchup comes next week against Spartanburg Methodist at home. On the other side for the Lady Bulldogs, they will host Johnson here at home on Tuesday night. We'll once again have that broadcast for you right here on the Bulldog Digital Network. 2:35 to play, and it's a 13-point advantage. Crittenden back into the ball game here for Bryan. Hames back in for Lady Bulldogs. Bounce pass, feed on the bottom is good for Brown. And she gets the and one opportunity coming her way. This one's going to be on Olivia Hall, her third. Hames out, Long back in. Cameron Brown, 0 for 2 tonight. Changes that right there and converts a three-point play. 2:26 to play, 68-58. Foul on the baseline, and this one's going to be on Jordan White, her third. Team fifth will send Crittenden to the stripe on the other end of the floor. 60% shooter for the senior. Olivia Hall checks out as Molly Brown returns for Bryan. Hames will check back in for Long. Crittenden's first free throw is in there. Both men's teams set to warm up here in between games. Crittenden goes 2 for 2 at the line. White into the front court, goes to Brown on the baseline again, gets fouled but can't make the shot here. This one's on Walls, her third. Long in for Hames, just offensive, defensive substitutions. So Brown leading the Wesleyan scores with 14, make that 15. Again, playing short-handed without Jalea Lindsay. Ranks in top 5 in 3 different offensive categories for the conference. Number 1 three-point shooter in the conference. Out front, Brown with it. Bryan works it over to Plott. Down low to Graham. Graham sends a pass cross court to Brown for 3, and Molly Brown drills it. That might be the dagger with 1:47 to play. Pushes them back to 14-point lead. Near corner, Cameron Brown with it. Now Long. Quick pass, White. Looking for help. Here's Long. Over to Brown for 3. Short. This one bounces up and over. Graham picks up the loose rebound, and Bryan with a minute and a half to go. Up 73-59, well on their way to the 16th win in a row against the Lady Bulldogs. Wesleyan will have to wait until the trip over to Dayton to avenge this. Bryan with it out front. Shot clock down to 15. Wesleyan trying not to foul, but 7 seconds to shoot. Crittenden takes it all the way in the lane. Layup no good. Carpenter comes away with the rebound. 45 seconds to go. Carpenter, top of the key, gets it to White. 15-foot jumper. Off the back iron, gets her own rebound. Kicks it over. Brown for three. In there for Cameron Brown. 11-point deficit, 32.6 seconds to play. Wesleyan will be at Bryan on January 21st. Will be the next matchup between these two teams. Lawson coming back in, 32.6 seconds remaining here. 73-62. Again, the guys' game coming up next. Wesleyan men in a tie for first place after being picked preseason 6th. They've gotten wins over Spartanburg Methodist, Truett McConnell, and Reinhardt, all on the road. And then Bryan comes in, currently tied for 4th. They are 1-1 in the conference, 2-5 overall. And they've gotten wins against Union Commonwealth and Point, who was a former conference opponent. So we'll have that broadcast for you coming up in a little bit later. Long with the foul, and I'm not sure that was much of a foul. It was just a player falling away from her, but nonetheless, it's going to send Plott to the stripe. Number 6, Alyssa Petty checks in for Walls. Lawson in for Hames, sorry. Lawson had come in during the free throws earlier. (73-62). 30.2 remaining. First free throw is off. Just need 4 threes without them scoring again. In 30 seconds. Second free throw is good. We'll take the full timeout with Coach Jason Smith as they advance the ball. Trailing 74-62 here on the Bulldog Digital Network. .2 seconds remaining. Wesleyan side out of bounds, trailing by 12, 74-62. Carpenter with it, got to make a move. Gets it to Brown. Brown all the way in against Crittenden, missed the layup. Graham gets the rebound and clears it out. Wesleyan's just going to back up. Shot clock turns off, and Bryan's going to come away with a hard-earned victory as Wesleyan shorthanded without their leading scorer. Makes Bryan earn it here in the second half. Led by as many as 18 in the third and got it down to 5. And then 3 to start the fourth, but Wesleyan cannot overcome a strong Bryan team here. Get outscored in the fourth quarter, 24-17. And they move to 3-3 overall. Now 2-2 in the conference, 1-2 here at home, and see their 2-game win streak come to an end. Bryan now 6-2 on the year, 4-0 inside the conference, 3-1 on the road, and 4 wins in a row for the Lady Lions. Again, telling you the final score: Bryan 74, Tennessee Wesleyan 62. We'll be right back with some final stats here on the Bulldog Digital Network. back here on the Bulldog Digital Network, where the Bryan women win at 74-62 over Tennessee Wesleyan. Looking at your team stats here, Bryan shoots 22 of 61, 36.1%. Wesleyan 23 of 52, 44%. So better at the field goal percentage for the Lady Bulldogs, but just knocking down enough and getting enough stops against Bryan. Three-pointers, it was 8 of 27, 29.6% for Bryan, 6 of 22, 27.3% for Tennessee Wesleyan. Free throws, 88% for the Lady Lions, 22 of 25. Tennessee Wesleyan, 10 of 15, 66.7. And then the turnover battle. 21 turnovers by Tennessee Wesleyan, allowing 26 points off of those turnovers for Bryan. There's a big difference in this ball game. 14 turnovers for Bryan, and Wesleyan with only 15 points off of those. So a net of 11, and the difference in this game is 12. There you go. Total rebounds, Wesleyan gets out rebounded 32-30. Bryan had 14 offensive, 18 defensive. Tennessee Wesleyan 10 offensive, 20 defensive. Assist, Bryan assisting on 14 of 22 made shots. Tennessee Wesleyan 17 of 23, so they do keep sharing the ball very well, as they have been all season. A block apiece for both teams, and then steals. 12 steals by Bryan compared to the 3 for Tennessee Wesleyan. And then fouls, 18 team fouls for Tennessee Wesleyan, 17 team fouls for the Lady Lions. Second chance points, both teams even at 9 apiece. Points in the paint, even at that one as well, 26 points. So sharing the ball and inside game was strong for both teams. Looking at your individual scoring, it was Molly Brown pacing all scorers. She led Bryan with 20 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. 16 points by Ashlyn Plott, 5 rebounds. 15 points by Ellie Graham, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and then 9.6 boards by Katie Farrell to round out your major scorers for Bryan and stat leaders. On the other side for Tennessee Wesleyan, only playing 8 Lady Bulldogs tonight. Again, Jalea Lindsay injured, so missing the leading scorer for Tennessee Wesleyan women. But it was Cameron Brown. Another outstanding performance by the freshman. 18 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. She did it on 60% from the field, 6 of 10. 4 of 6 from behind the arc, and 2 of 5 at the stripe. 13 points by Jordan White. Another great play by the freshman guard. 7 rebounds as well, 3 assists. 4 of 9 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. 10 points by Tally Lawson, 5 of 13 from the field, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Julia Howard had 10 points as well, 1 board, 1 assist, 4 of 5 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line. 6 points by Leslie Hames, 2 of 8, both of those coming from behind the arc. 4 rebounds, 3 assists for her. 5 points, 6 boards, 3 assists for Sloan Carpenter. She went 2 for 5 from the field and 1 of 2 at the line. And then it was Aubrey Long had 3 boards, 1 assist, and 3 boards by Courtney Berry as well. Round out the individual statistics for Tennessee Wesleyan Lady Bulldogs. Again, we get to see the men of Tennessee Wesleyan coming up next here on the Bulldog Digital Network for our first time here this year on their home floor. We've seen and heard great things, expecting great things. Maybe being in the comfort of their own gym will continue their winning ways here for Tennessee Wesleyan. As we'll go ahead and wrap up the women's broadcast with that. Stay tuned here in about, let's say 20 minutes. We'll be back online here on the Bulldog Digital Network on YouTube, so you can check out all the action here for Tennessee Wesleyan. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll take a break.